Christina was asked by Our Blessed Lady many years ago to speak of her sufferings. The book, The Cross Uncovered, has been the means of her responding to that request. Listen now to an extract from her book.
The lead up to my worst suffering was when Archbishop Joseph Cassidy, due to ill health, had to retire in mid-1994, and a new Archbishop, Michael Neary, took over in early 1995. The new Archbishop's intention was to take the work of the House of Prayer under the umbrella of the Church. Technically, this was described as giving the work a structure in canon law. I had no objection to such a move. Indeed, I would welcome it, provided the proposed structure respected and facilitated the work for souls, to which heaven was giving such fruitfulness. The Archbishop granted the structure of a private association of the faithful, which would not, however, permit the public to come to the House of Prayer as before. It would only provide for a few named individuals to remain there in prayer in an enclosed situation and have Mass there about twice a year in private. A public association, however, would have permitted the people to come and have the sacraments provided for their pastoral needs. I said to the Archbishop that he could take over the house if only he would allow the people to come. Realizing that the structure offered did not permit the fulfillment of heaven's purpose, I said to the Archbishop I would prefer to close it until such time as heaven would raise it up. However, when this was done, I found I was in a grave dilemma. Through the people on the one hand demanding that I reopen the house, which they kept reminding me they had contributed to put in place, even telling me that I did not have any right to close it on them, and deprive them of the possibility of coming there to pray as before. Since I never at any time wished to be in disobedience to the Archbishop, I immediately contacted his office to say that the people were begging me to open the house and pray with them, and with the sick whom they desired to bring there. The Archbishop's secretary told me at the time that, by virtue of my baptism, I was perfectly entitled to do so, and that I did not require permission to pray with others in this way. So the House of Prayer was, in fact, only closed for a week. On the other hand, I was sadly aware that the house would lose the gift of the sacraments, which grieved me deeply. The people's argument was that they did not travel all the way to Ackle to attend the parish church. They were doing that in their own parishes. They came to Ackle to pray in Our Lady's House of Prayer, which they had contributed to in response to Our Lady's call and which they could already see was abundantly fruitful. One could only admire the enormous effort and sacrifice made especially by extremely sick people traveling long distances so that they, too, could benefit from the very special privilege of Our Lady's presence, particularly since the house at that time did not have the space and facilities which had to be added later. The sick would gather in all kinds of weather around Our Lady's door. In fact, when the manager at the time, Martin Scally, tried to make the case for adding basic shelter for the sick, during a conversation with one of Archbishop Neary's staff, he received the reply, "Well, when they get drenched out in the rain often enough, they'll learn to stay away." Martin was shocked at the lack of compassion. Torn as I was, I obeyed, and asked the people to obey the Archbishop's instructions. And painful as it has been, the instructions of the Archbishop have always been implemented at Our Lady's house. The Archbishop did not say openly or publicly to anyone the reason why he removed the sacraments from the house at that time, and people drew wrong conclusions, through no explanation being given at that time or since. When I had, in the beginning, requested Archbishop Joseph Cassidy to open the House of Prayer, he took a long time to reflect and pray. Then he not only opened and blessed the house, but gifted it with the sacraments and called it an oasis of peace in a troubled world. Even though the new Archbishop, Michael Neary, withdrew the sacraments, I deeply respect him and pray for him and all religious on a daily basis for courage and strength. For the times we live in, it has been brought to my attention on a number of occasions that Archbishop Neary remarked that I am not in his favor, a remark which, with certain others, were reliably reported back to me as having been sent to the Episcopal conferences of the U.S., the Philippines, and Australia. All the while, I am not conscious of having done anything wrong, and I state here I am deeply sorry if I have offended him in any way, and I would be more than grateful if he would let me know what I am supposed to have done. For all these years, I have done nothing but pray for him and all religious, for strength and courage in their priestly ministry and religious lives, which I regard as very sacred.
This has been an extract from Christina Gallagher's book, The Cross Uncovered, published in response to the request of Our Lady that she speak of her sufferings. For more information, visit the website www.christinagallagher.org.